step into the ring, the bell's about to chime. Turnbuckle Talk, we're here to shine. Flagship on the airwaves, leading the pack. Breaking news, reviews, we've got your back. From the squared circle to the backstage news, we bring stories that you can't refuse. Turnbuckle Talk, the voice of the fight. Every slam, every suplex, every highlight. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. For the latest in wrestling, we bring the heat. From AEW to WWE, we cover it all from A to Z. Interviews, insights, and match reviews. If it's wrestling news, we got the clues. From the squared circle to the backstage news, we bring the stories that you can't refuse. Turnbuckle Talk, the voice of the fight. Every slam, every suplex, every highlight. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. For the latest in wrestling, we bring the heat.
WWE has just made a major move in wrestling media. SiriusXM's longtime wrestling destination has officially become WWE Radio, but the launch has already sparked some controversy, with one familiar voice no longer a part of the lineup. What happened, and what does it mean for wrestling coverage going forward? We'll talk about it later on tonight. Welcome, everyone, to Turnbuckle Talk. I am your host, Chris Best, and alongside me is OM Dynamic. OMD, how are we doing today?
I am doing well, my friend. I almost fell asleep again before the show, but fortunately was able to make sure I didn't.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Well, right now we've got to tackle our first story of the day, and this is actually a very intriguing story considering he was just on Raw last night. Big news coming out of the camp of one Jimmy Hart. As we all know, Jimmy Hart has a history of being involved in the music industry before becoming a pro wrestler. Sun Records, the label he was signed to under the band The Gentrys, has found music that him and the Gentrys recorded 56 years ago and will be releasing that music. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this because I actually enjoy his music with the Gentrys.
Right. And you know what? Like when this came across last night, I saw it in one clip and I had to go and see if I could find it. And yeah, 56 years and unreleased music from Jimmy Hart and the Gentrys.
Mm.
And you know, this is a very exciting time for Jimmy Hart because what's old is new again, so to speak.
Yeah, and he's going to be releasing these songs in September, and I kind of liken it to what the Beatles recently did. As we all know, a couple of years ago, they released their last song, but what they had done was they took a lot of John Lennon's recordings that were intended to be a part of a forthcoming Beatles album before he was unceremoniously taken from us. Yeah. But what Yoko Ono did was she lent those recordings to the remainder of the Beatles, which at the time was George, Paul, and Ringo, and they remastered them to give us what we had a couple of years ago. And that's what I'm hoping to see out of this too with the Gentrys. I'm hoping that we see the members come in, they remaster this album, and I hope it's actually a series of albums and not just Jimmy taking a look at the recordings and picking certain songs. I kind of hope all of the songs get the love that they more than likely deserve.
Right, and it didn't say how many songs there were. When I initially read the article, I had read it as 56 songs, not 56 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, for 56 years, these songs have been hidden away. And, you know, the record company going through their archives and finding these. And I don't know if obviously they would have gone and gotten Jimmy and every other remaining member's permission to release these. So I do hope that it's, you know, a collection of albums, as you said, or a box set.
Yeah. Currently, right now, there is a shop that you can go to. It is store.sunrecords.com. You can do a pre-order. The cost is going to be $12.98 US dollars. It is expected to ship on September 4th of this year. It doesn't give a listing of all the songs here, but the album title will be called The Gentries. It's been a long time, and it's going to be coming out on CD.
Okay.
I would like for it to come out on vinyl.
Right? So yeah, I am excited for this. And like, this came literally, I found this post Raw. And as you touched on, we had just seen him because he was there as a special guest in the crowd on Raw last night from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it's just so wonderful. And I'm hoping, because I mean, Jimmy Hart was such a fixture in the WWE in the 80s and the early 90s that, you know, to see this now, and I'm like, I don't believe this is royalties because he looks to be in great health. This looks to be a case of, you know, he's invested his money wisely. He's still able to live comfortably off of everything he did, plus the cons. So I like this for him, that maybe this is just him being able to say, this was my past before wrestling.
Yeah, and we all know that he had he had a bit of a successful music career with the Gentries. They had a #1 song with the song "Keep On Dancing," but the music didn't just stop there for Jimmy. We all know that he eventually would go on to work in Memphis under Jerry Lawler, and he recorded some music while there as well, helping, you know, giving wrestlers some theme songs and whatnot there. Then he went up to the WWE, and that's where things really exploded for him, as he was also a big proponent for WWE's first ever album, which was the wrestling album.
Yeah.
He helped Rick Derringer in writing Real American. He penned quite a number of themes on that particular album. Then there was Pile Driver, the wrestling album too, where he had his hands in on everything. He again helped Derringer with the Demolition theme song. He wrote the Fabulous Rougeau's theme. He wrote I think he did Slick's theme song as well. Then we go into the 90s, where we pick up his most famous theme song he's ever done. And there were 2 recordings of this very, very famous theme song. And I'm, of course, talking about Shawn Michaels' theme song, the first one being recorded by Sherry and the second one being recorded by Michaels. Now, on the second version of the theme song, we actually hear Jimmy Hart's vocals on there. And surprising enough to you fans who don't know, he provides the female vocal on that song. He also wrote the Honky Tonks Man's theme song, and you can plainly hear his voice in the background on that song.
Yeah, and you know, you gotta love this for Jimmy, because again, we don't know where his voice is at today. We don't see him out there with the megaphone. We do see him with the jackets, with the shades, and the outfits. But just to go back now and potentially hear that high pitch, that voice again from Jimmy Hart in the modern day would be absolutely incredible.
I got to tell you, when he was singing with the Gentries, he didn't use the high pitched voice.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I like I said, I listened to the Gentries. I'm a fan of their work. So
right.
He was the lead vocals on Keep On Dancing, and he actually sings with, I don't know the note of the voice, but he sings kind of like a normal voice. There's no real high pitch to it.
Okay.
But yeah, this is intriguing, guys. If you want to, again, if you want to go there, it is store.sunrecords.com. $12.98. That's US dollars. I'm going to have to look at it for what it is for Canadian dollars, because this might be a collector's item. And it is on vinyl. Okay, I did find it on vinyl too. $26.98 if you want to buy it on vinyl.
Okay.
And again, it's going to ship September 4th of 2026. What I would like to see, I'm not seeing it here. Maybe if I oh, look at that. We do have a track listing on the vinyl one here. We've got 12 songs that are going to be released on this particular album. So if they found more than just 12 songs, I say you might want to maybe do like an anthology album, kind of like I don't want to say I was going to say Johnny Cash, but I know Johnny Cash when he did his anthology albums, those were all original works and covers that he did.
Yes.
But I would re-release these in spurts and maybe save the last one. And I hate to say this as a dark tone, but when Jimmy passes.
Yep.
But I'm intrigued by this, and I'm trying to become an avid vinyl collector, and this will end up in my collection. There's no question about it.
Yep.
But you know what? We're talking about things being added to collections and whatnot. We would like you guys to start up your own collection by visiting our shop. Take a look.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And ladies and gentlemen, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, and we do encourage you to check out our merch shop, support your favorite shows and your favorite podcasters, wear what we wear. The shop is powered by redbubble.com. It is 100% safe and secure. And when you make that purchase, let us know, tag us on the socials. We will give you that shout out right here live on air during one or more of our weekly programs. All of that and more at turnbucklestudios.org.
And since we just showcased our shop, the fans are going to have a chance to spend some more money, but not with us, not with the WWE, not even with AEW, but with MLW, guys. MLW and Panini America have partnered up to launch what is called Ring Royalty. It's going to be MLW's first ever dedicated hobby trading card release. As was announced in the crown jewel of MLW collecting has arrived. Major League Wrestling and Panini America, MLW's official trading card partner, today launched the Panini Major League Wrestling Royalty, the first ever hobby trading card release dedicated entirely to MLW. So if you want to get yourself a Matt Riddle card, you can get it in these packs. It's a whole bunch of trading card packs. These are going to feature the likes of Killer Cross, Mystico, Shotzi, Satoshi Kojima, the Good Brothers, Scarlett Bordeaux, Matt Riddle. All of your top MLW guys are going to be in there. And I'm kind of excited about this. I'm not a trading card guy, but it is a thing that I would like to, check out,
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen so many different companies have trading cards. And I mean, Panini is a name that we have not heard in the trading card industry in quite some time. Everything is primarily tops or upper deck. But we've seen WWE do it. We've seen AEW do it. We saw old school Ring of Honor do it. We've seen different companies at different times, and it's, the re-release or the relaunch of trading cards. Now we are getting that original lineup from MLW. This is huge for MLW and a lot of these stars who never had that opportunity when they were with the bigger companies, so to speak. So I absolutely love this. I used to be a trading card guy, and it is something that I would like to get back into. I just don't have the money to keep financing a hobby.
Yeah, so also with this thing, collectors will be able to chase a wide array of rare and stunning premium inserts, including like the iconic blank slate, state La Cinque Plus Belle. My French is butchered there. State of the art and paint by numbers. They can also relive memorable moments in league history with the special MLW highlights subset. So if you want to relive Alex Kane and winning the the MLW heavyweight title, you can do that. If you want to relive when Hammerstone took the belt from him, you can relive that moment as well. There's a lot to unravel with this stuff. And yeah, MLW is not exactly a premium company. It very much acts like it is when you watch MLW Fusion each week. I highly recommend you go out there and get these cards because there's a lot of cool things you're going to see here. Especially, I wouldn't mind seeing some memorable moments from my favorite MLW match, which is Battle Riot.
Yes. On top of that, on top of the MLW superstars you listed, you can also gain autographs from legendary names across professional wrestling, including Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and Kurt Angle. So even though they didn't have any true affiliation with MLW, they have reached that echelon in pro wrestling, and they've provided inspiration for so many wrestlers, regardless of the company, that you can potentially gain these autographs.
Yeah, and you will be able to buy this on Panini America's website. They will also be available at other retailers such as Walmart, Amazon, and Target are the locations right now that they are listing as availability. And I think that this is I do think that this is cool. But on the flip side, when I'm thinking about MLW merchandise, I know that they've got the shirts and they got the gear. You can dress up as your favorite wrestler and whatnot. But give me some MLW action figures.
Yeah.
Give me Killer Cross and Scarlet as a duo, as a duo pack of action figures. If they do have that, I'm gonna have to take a look and see if they do. Give me play sets from MLW. Give me their version of War Games. Give me a set that features Battle Riot. Maybe give me an entrance and a ring for MLW wrestlers to play at. And again, maybe there are figures. I'm not quite certain on that one, but
right.
Again, I'm glad that MLW is getting into this merch game. They're further expanding what they have, and what they will have as far as MLW merchandise goes.
Yes.
And
I mean, again, I just love this for MLW. Like I said, we look at these, tops, Upper Deck. We haven't heard the name Panini. I know, and we don't see the cereal box trading cards anymore that we used to get back in the day.
No.
But, I love this.
But you know what you will see, guys? If you happen to be in the Minneapolis area this weekend, it might be a very, very, very hot weekend, guys, because, well, we know SummerSlam is in town. But if you're if it's very hot for you guys, you can expect some cool treats. Because Danhausen is going to be busy. Not only does he have the match with Dom on this weekend, but you will be seeing a Danhausen very nice, very evil SummerSlam freeze tour, in which he's going to be doing a one-of-a-kind roaming popsicle truck that's going to serve frozen treats, unexpected surprises, and photo opportunities in and around Minneapolis. From Thursday, July 30th to Sunday, August 2nd, humans brave enough to approach Danhausen can choose their frozen fate. Very nice or very evil, as the truck is going to make stops throughout the greater Minneapolis area downtown. From downtown East Commons Park to the Convention Center and US Bank Stadium. Fans can test their luck by spinning a flavor wheel to have their frozen treat selected for them. I think that this is cool. And they do give a list of locations. So Tuesday, July 30th, they're going to be at the downtown East Commons Park from 11 a.m. to 1:15 p.m., after which they're going to hit the Nicollet Mall from 6:30 to 8:30. Then at the Convention Center in Minneapolis at 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. August 1st and 2nd from 1:30 to 4:30, they will be at the US Bank Stadium. And Danhausen's going to be giving out them frozen treats. This is cool. I I would so do this.
What a fantastic way for a meet and greet.
Right?
Just hope your ice cream isn't cursed.
Well, it's not ice cream, it's popsicles.
Still, popsicles, let's hope they're not cursed.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a fantastic way. And, you know, it plays right into his gimmick, right? Exchange your human monies. And, you know, we looked at and discussed a few weeks ago how they were adding on to, you know, his merch and his marketability. This is brilliant. But I am going to say this. Danhausen gets his popsicles. CM Punk still hasn't got his ice cream bars from 14 years ago.
CM Punk actually did get ice cream bars a few years back.
Yes, for, I believe, one episode of AEW.
Yeah, so he did get them. But no, I'm excited for the people of Minneapolis for this. I wouldn't mind seeing this. I was going to say Royal Rumble, but Royal Rumble is, that's in the winter, so no.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing this for other summer events. Maybe even if you do it for no, actually, you know what? I'd keep it an annual thing. Do it at SummerSlam every year.
Yeah. You know what, though? I do feel, and I'm afraid for the little ones who are going to drive around and see this truck with that face and that mask on it, and are they going to be scared? Are they going to laugh? And you have to. I do worry for that effect.
I mean, they did announce the spots, so I do expect that. Kids who don't know who Danhausen is probably won't be there, but the kids who do know Danhausen will be there. And Danhausen, as it says here, he is going to be front and center with all of these things. Like Danhausen, I cannot believe just how busy this guy has become within the past 6 months. He has just exploded.
So, honestly, can we give Danhausen a WWE championship? Because truly, he has become the face of the company.
He's getting up there. I mean, I wouldn't call him the face just yet because I think that's still occupied by Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns right now. But Danhausen is definitely that guy. That guy who more than likely will win the Intercontinental title at some point. I don't see him being a heavyweight champion, but I still see him winning that mid-card title and still being a top seller. I mean, look at it this way. When Santino Marella was around, he became a top seller with the Cobra.
Yep.
Danhausen, I mean, he was a top seller with Pro Wrestling Tees under his stuff, but he was doing that on his own. He didn't have help from his previous company in AEW. And now WWE saw this, they brought him in, and now he is just a marketing machine. This guy, the moment he leaves the WWE, because that will happen, he's going to bring everything he has to any promotion that comes and says, hey, we want to take you on. He's going to be hugely popular on the independent scene. He's going to make money for any independent company that picks him up.
Absolutely, he will.
Yeah. And maybe if that were to happen, if Danhausen were to leave the WWE, maybe he can come over here and help us out.
Right.
But in the meantime, guys, we are looking for help. So take a look.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. If you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, or to help us behind the scenes, hit that join button, send us your creds via email, tell us how you believe you can help us, how you feel we can help you. We will sit down as a collective and find the right fit. All of that and so much more at turnbucklestudios.org.
Yeah, and moving on to our next story, guys. This is a story that speaks very closely to us. She is a woman that we all love here, and we already reported on her battles with ALS. But AEW is doing something that's really cool. They are going to be making a special. All Elite Wrestling is going to present a special AEW Rebel Heart Dynamite. It's going to take place September 9th from the Aikens Ford Arena in Athens, Georgia. And it's going to be an event that's going to benefit I Am ALS and Team Gleason. This is going to be all about Rebel and her battle with ALS and how WWE AEW is going to be doing a special dynamite to benefit these ALS charities. As we all know, ALS is not a fun disease to have. It can and will end you. There is no cure for it, but I am extremely proud that this is happening. All Elite Wrestling, I Am ALS, and Team Gleason announced that a very special of AEW Rebel Heart Dynamite, as they're calling it, will take place Wednesday, September 9th live from Aikens Ford Arena in Athens, Georgia. The event is going to air live on TBS and stream on HBO Max in the United States. Up here in Canada, it does air on TSN2, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so on TSN2, it's going to air there. Rebel Heart Dynamite will honor one of the original members of the AEW roster, Tania Brooks, known to fans around the world as Rebel, who was diagnosed with ALS in March of 2026. As part of the event, Rebel is scheduled to make an appearance that evening, and fans in attendance will have a special limited edition Rebel trading card sheet from Upper Deck while supplies last. A donation will be made from AEW Rebel Heart Dynamite to benefit I Am ALS, and the leading community movement dedicated to ending ALS by empowering patients and caregivers to secure billions in federal funding, improve care, treatment access, and drive research. And Team Gleason, which is an organization founded by former New Orleans Saints player Steve Gleason, that provides adventure, technology, equipment, and care services to people living with ALS and countless others through advocacy, research, support, and the goal of ultimately bringing an end to the disease. In addition, the event at Aikens Ford Arena will take place in the home community of the University of Georgia's Regenerative Bioscience Center, where groundbreaking research and the training of future scientific leaders are helping development of new therapies for ALS. I think that this is just fantastic that they're doing this.
I absolutely love this. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, I know the tribalism gets a little bit much at times, but you know, we've seen the AEW superstars past and present doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes.
And you know, including Dr. Britt Baker, who actually had Rebel there in her yard to do this and pour the ice bucket over her. Rebel has touched so many people in the wrestling industry. Though a largely forgotten character, she just touched on so many of us with everything. So, yes, thank you, AEW. What a way to pay tribute to one of your own. Congratulations. I commend you. I commend Tony Khan and the Khan family for their charity work in this situation. This is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and as we know, like I recently saw a news story where they were talking to Rebel, and it was hard to watch because it wasn't the Rebel that I remember from watching those early days of AEW. Now, granted, I have fallen out of watching AEW, and I want to get back into it. I'm trying to get back into watching it. I gotta say, like, yeah, the tribalism is there. Yeah, there are the fans that say, oh, AEW is better than WWE. But this is a moment here, fans, where we got to set aside the tribalism. We have to set aside that tribalism because she is a sister in arms to us.
Yeah.
Anybody who's involved in the wrestling industry, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter if you know the wrestler, if you don't know them, we are all brothers and sisters in arms here.
We know that Rebel has gotten a ton of support from WWE superstars. I can go back to her time in Impact Wrestling when she was with the Menagerie and Nux.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she has never been a huge player in the industry. She's never contended for a title or anything like that. But this is, you know, it was so sad to see and hear what happened about this, especially to a woman so young. But again, to see this moment, and that is exactly what this is, whether it is a fleeting moment, but this moment and this memory will live on for all of us.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter in this wrestling industry of whether or not you make it big or whether or not you win titles. What matters is the legacy you left behind and the impact you left on the people you've worked with, the fans who supported you, and the people you worked for.
Yes. There is always that old saying of no matter where you go, leave it better than you found it.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebel has done that absolutely everywhere she has been.
Yeah, and in that interview that I watched with her, and I can't even remember on which news station I watched it on, they showcased like a little bit of the history of her as far as wrestling in the independent circuit. And you can tell that this young woman was very much a hard worker and just wanted to do what was best for her in the ring. She very much reminded me of another wrestler whom we sadly lost to brain cancer in Matt Cappotelli. Matt Cappotelli was one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen. So Rebel, just know, we know your battle with ALS is hard and it's going to be hard, but just know that we here in the wrestling industry, we here at Turnbuckle Studios love you and support you for everything that you do. And on that note, I'm just going to say a quick hello to Bobby and say she's saying nice to see AEW doing this for Rebel, and saying that she more than likely has support from Gail Kim too. And she doesn't just have support from just Gail Kim, but I believe that she's going to have support from any and every wrestler out there.
In seeing the clips, and I can only list a few names that I have seen doing the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Sting, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, the Young Bucks, Dustin Rhodes, just to name a few. And we're seeing that come back. And I know there's also a former NFL football player. I believe his name is Chris Williams from the Tennessee Titans, who is going through the same thing and is even younger. And they're drawing support for him as well with all of this. So, Rebel, thank you. And please be remembered fondly and take a look at what you have inspired once again in all of this.
Yeah. And on that note, guys, it is time for another commercial break before we head into our showstopper segment.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday night, we are on call as the Raw Patrol is on duty at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday, we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursdays, let us power your dreams with the Xbox Showcase at 9 p.m. Friday, we invite you to come for a ride with the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later in the day, the Locker Room presents Wrestling Recap delivers at 7 p.m. Always be aware that weekend shows can vary in times, as the PLE Patrol and other watch party streams are always a must-see. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day and watch all of the latest episodes on turnbucklestudios.org/shows. And please do not forget to drop a like, follow, and to subscribe to all of our channels, and when the time is right, all you have to do is tap in.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, and there is something for you each and every night of the week. And you can find those under the show section, but we want you to meet the team behind the shows. Mr. Best, myself, Bubba Duke, Logan Thompson, Chris Parrish, and the Godfather, Carl Carafel. Click on our individual links to get our socials so you can connect with us on the interwebs and watch our latest weekly live episodic shows. On a bit of a programming note, the PLE Patrol this weekend for both nights 1 and 2 of SummerSlam will preempt regularly scheduled programming, and we will be back the following weekend with those weekend shows. Once again, nights 1 and 2 of SummerSlam will preempt regular weekly programming this weekend. All of that and more at turnbucklestudios.org.
Yeah, and guys, tonight we've got a big story coming out of the WWE and Sirius Satellite Radio. WWE Radio is taking over. SiriusXM and WWE have officially launched WWE Radio, replacing the former Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 channel on SiriusXM channel 156. The new station is designed to be the official audio home of WWE, bringing together live event coverage, WWE podcasts, and wrestling programming under one roof. The channel will feature live audio broadcasts of WWE's biggest premium live events, including WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series, while also airing select audio simulcasts of WWE's weekly television programming. Fans will also hear podcasts hosted by names like Cody Rhodes, Stephanie McMahon, and The Undertaker, alongside longtime SiriusXM wrestling shows like Busted Open Radio, Not Sam Wrestling, and Cheap Heat Live. However, the launch doesn't come without a bit of controversy. As we know, AEW star Thunder Rosa, who had become a regular co-host on Busted Open, had confirmed that she is no longer with the show following the WWE radio transition. Reports are indicating that she is not expected to continue with SiriusXM after the WWE partnership, and many believe that the move signals the end of AEW representation on the channel. While neither WWE or SiriusXM have officially stated that Thunder Rosa's departure was a condition of the new partnership, the timing has led to plenty of speculation among fans. Many are wondering whether WWE Radio can continue to provide balanced coverage of the wrestling industry, or if its focus will naturally shift almost entirely toward WWE programming. Dave LaGreca has insisted that Busted Open won't lose its identity, but with WWE branding now surrounding the entire channel and Triple H appearing as one of the first marquee guests since the relaunch, some listeners do remain skeptical about how much coverage promotions like AEW, TNA, and MLW and the independents will receive going forward. But for WWE, though, this is another major expansion of its media footprint between Netflix, YouTube, podcasts, social media, and now a dedicated 24/7 SiriusXM station. WWE continues to build an ecosystem that keeps fans connected to its product virtually everywhere and everywhere they consume media. I think that this is an interesting move here for the WWE, especially with them doing live broadcasts of PLEs. This is something I thought that they should have done a long time ago, and I know they attempted to do it in the mid '90s with WWF Radio, but I think this is a decent move here.
I think it's going to be a lot more usable and doable now than it was in the mid 90s, because you touched on WWE Radio, and I do remember scrolling through on the AM dial and being able to catch the pay-per-views coming in and out on that. I also remember when they said to make sure you had your headphones in and you could tune your radio to get the commentary at the live shows on your Walkman.
Mm-hmm.
And those were a flop. I am a little bit worried about this because, again, you are losing a pro wrestling network. This is now by all accounts here, and from what we can speculate, all WWE, we had live audio wrestling for a while as a channel. That again flopped. TNA went to iHeartRadio. So I like that, but I am a little bit concerned that, Pro Wrestling Nation is going to lose its identity, and this is going to just be WWE bias and WWE monopolizing, unless you can get these other companies to come in and say, okay, we want our own dedicated channel as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't say live audio wrestling flopped. They were canceled. But I'm still intrigued on this one because I think of like people who are WWE fans, and let's take a look at like people who maybe they're out on the road, maybe they're a truck driver and they got to drive through the night and SummerSlam is on and they want to catch SummerSlam, but they can't. Now they have that opportunity by tuning into SiriusXM and listening to the show. I know that you can maybe turn on Netflix and listen to the commentary there, but I feel like if you do that, that could pose as a distraction because your eye would be trained to watching CM Punk and Cody Rhodes going at it.
Yeah.
So by having it on the radio, you'll be able to listen to the action. However, I do feel like if you're going to do the commentary on the radio, you need to be a little bit more descriptive as to what you're seeing in the ring. It'd be just like when we listen to hockey on the radio, right? They're a lot more descriptive than maybe when we're watching NHL on TV. But I am intrigued with the fact that they said Busted Open is not changing its outlook. So I do hope that WWE still allows them that freedom to talk about other promotions. Because as we know, I believe Carl was a frequent listener of Pro Wrestling Nation, and I have listened to Pro Wrestling Nation with him, and they've talked about like companies that I had never heard of. They've talked about wrestlers I had never heard of, and made me want to go and search up who this wrestler is. That's how I actually found out about Joey Janela a number of years ago, was through listening to Pro Wrestling Nation.
Right. What I'm wondering, and we know that Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, is an independent podcaster now. He does that on his own. Busted Open is his thing. It was his baby along with Dave LaGreca. Yes, you've had Tommy Dreamer as a co-host. Mark Henry is, a regular contributor to the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I fear is, are you getting all of these guys who are potentially under Legends deals having to discuss it? We know that Bully Ray never associated with AEW, but Mark Henry was.
Yes.
So are we going to allow for that? Is Dave LaGreca going to become now the primary host saying, okay, we need to discuss this show and in the comparison? And again, I take it back to that tribalism. Are we going to get focused on other things like what the Nightmare Academy is doing, what Reality of Wrestling is doing? And are we going to focus on those potential development platforms for the WWE?
I would hope so, but I wouldn't say just for the WWE because, as I said, they Busted Open. Dave LaGreca has said that the identity of the show is not going to change. Right. They are still going to be remaining the unbiased reporters or a radio show that they are. I almost said reporters, but they never really reported on the news. They discussed the news, as it were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see any changes in that show. If there are changes, I would have to think that it would only be maybe them having actual like WWE wrestlers on their platform, right. i.e. like Triple H is the first guest that appears. I would also like to see, well, as they mentioned, Cody Rhodes, his podcast is going to be featured there. The Undertaker's podcast will be there. Stephanie McMahon's as well. I would like to see another show come back and be on that channel, and that is Corey Graves After the Bell, because I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
But again, I'm excited more. I'm more excited about the being able to listen to live events, because again, if you're out the door and you don't have a way to watch Netflix or anything of that nature, let's say, again, you're driving down that highway, SummerSlam is on, you can tune into it. If you're in the grocery store trying to buy groceries and Monday Night Raw is on, tune in and listen to Monday Night Raw while you're doing your thing. I look at it as another alternative for people to catch their WWE action. And dare I say, it may not even be just WWE. My little report even mentions TNA. TNA and WWE have a partnership. Maybe they bring TNA in and do some shows with the TNA thing. Maybe AAA also gets some shine on this station as well.
You know what? And I would absolutely love that. That I would absolutely love. But right now, my fear, again, goes to the tribalism and to the monopoly that WWE has. We know that AEW is making headway, but WWE is still the biggest wrestling company in the world and has that monopoly. So they are the ones really getting first crack at this. And
yeah,
I would be okay, like, if AEW was to say, okay, you know, we need a network for our shows, our pay-per-views, and then you can actually get Ring of Honor. Again, in the same formats.
In an audio format, because they do have my AEW now.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about it, but maybe there is a way that AEW reaches out and do that. But again, I'm not looking at this from the live event perspective. I am and I'm not. I'm looking at like what Busted Open Radio does, because they were open. They talked everything wrestling, whether it was WWE, whether it was AEW, whether it was New Japan, Pro Wrestling, Noah. They were talking about whatever major stories were coming out of there. And that's what I still want to see coming out of this. And you know what? I was thinking about this too, and I know Booker T does his own podcast, but maybe you can even throw Booker's podcast up there, and just keep it wide open. At the same time, I know that they promote Logan Paul's podcast. Why not put that up on there as well?
Yeah, I was going to ask that, is do we get Impulsive going on there? We know that Logan, yes, he does do a lot of interviews with WWE superstars, but he's also brought in guests from other entertainment avenues as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that Impulsive would be a great fit on there.
Yeah. But yeah, this is I'm very intrigued to see just where this goes, like what is going to happen with this. I would like you know what, I was talking to Carl about this some months ago when it was just Pro Wrestling Nation, and we were listening to the show while driving around the city trying to gather our gear for the CWE event that we were doing that night. And as we were listening to it, I actually turned to Carl. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if they did this, but they had they did like a radio coverage of wrestling events and whatnot. And Carl was like, that would be awesome if they had done that.
Yeah.
And again, I love that WWE is doing that. I don't want to see them do like a radio coverage of past wrestling events though, because that would just be a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But if they did maybe a non-biased review show of past wrestling events, because under the WWE umbrella, there's AAA, there's TNA. I guess you can say TNA is kind of under the umbrella, but not really. There's the partnership there. Maybe you can do some TNA, WCW, AWA. You can bring in like those past legends and talk about those events and just have a show based around that. But again, this is I think this is a decent move for the WWE, but I do want to see like all the current shows that are coming over with this deal to stay the way they are.
Yeah. And I'm with you there. I want that non-biased approach.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it earlier, like Thunder Rosa no longer affiliated with Busted Open and will be coming off of the air. I believe she has her own podcast as well.
Mm-hmm. But I think
And
I do think that is because of her being employed by the WWE, or I mean AEW. But she is one woman that I'm like, please come to WWE, please.
right.
But sorry, you were saying I interrupted you.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, she would do if they did bring her over to WWE. I think she would be a great fit, not just for the main roster, but for AAA. I really do think she'd be a great hand down there. And that's the other thing too. We talk about the Undertaker's podcast. We talk about AAA. I would love to hear some of the stories out of the AAA wrestlers there who can speak English, and I would love to hear like the story of Mr. Iguana. I would love to hear the story of Psycho Clown.
Right.
I would love to hear from Vikingo, and I know Vikingo is out with an injury right now, but maybe that's what you can get him to do while he's recovering.
Could we get the soon-to-be TNA Hall of Famer Conan and the Keeping It 100 podcast back on there?
See, I don't know about that because isn't Disco Inferno still involved in that?
I don't
know. Because I'm not sure where Disco lays with all of that, but I would be intrigued with that. I would love, you know what? Just off the top of my head, do a AAA show with Conan and Rey Mysterio as the hosts.
Yeah.
You have the general manager aspect of Rey Mysterio because he is the general manager right now down in AAA. Plus, you have the man who basically lived in AAA. You know,
and call it the Keep It 619.
Yeah, there we go. But this, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head with the amount of different shows that they could have done. And if you don't want to bring back those older podcasts, like I don't think we're going to see like the New Day podcast come back.
No.
But what I would like to see, like if maybe you can do old airings of the original WWE podcast that they had, like After the Bell and all that.
Yeah.
Alongside the new episode. So maybe that would be a great place to dump all the old audio recordings that they have for their podcasts.
I'd also like to see JBL's show go on there, Tales from the Road.
That's not a Conrad Thompson show, is it?
No, it's him and Gerald Briscoe.
Okay, so then that could happen because I know that Conrad wouldn't. Well, maybe Conrad would. Conrad Thompson did have a deal with the WWE at one time, and him and Bruce Pritchard did have a podcast that aired on the WWE network.
Yep.
It was another version of Something to Wrestle With, but that would that'd be interesting too to see some of JBL's shows. But again, I think JBL would have to. I know JBL's got a Legends deal, and I know he is signed to WWE because he is working as a commentator for AAA. But I think there would have to be a whole other deal that they would have to do in order to get JBL's podcast under the WWE umbrella.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be intriguing, and I can't wait to see the announcement for any new shows that are coming up. Because as we know, Undertaker's podcast, Cody's podcast, Stephanie's podcast, maybe Logan Paul, or you know what though. But at the same time, if I'm Logan Paul, I'd maybe want to keep the podcast a little bit separate because yes, he does bring wrestlers on, but as you mentioned, he brings on people of all other entertainment, and they don't always talk wrestling on that channel, on that show.
But I mean, Cody's had other guests from other avenues of entertainment, as has Undertaker.
Yeah, Stephanie too, to be honest.
Logan's just tend to be a little more controversial or risque.
Yeah, Logan's is more about like a tell me about your life kind of thing as well. Because right now I am listening to an Impulsive podcast with one of my favorite, where he interviews one of my favorite YouTubers in Casey Neistat, and that's more. It's more of a podcast that talks about Casey Neistat's upbringing and how he came into the world of YouTube.
Right.
But yeah, I'm very very interested to see how this turns out. I want to see an announcement for shows that are coming, shows that are staying. We know that some of the shows that are staying, but I would love to see more advertising out of this when everything actually takes off. So I would like to see, like this weekend at SummerSlam, I would love to see when they're promoting SummerSlam and they're mentioning Netflix internationally, ESPN in America. Put in that little thing also on WWE Radio.
Yes.
Simple as that. But on that note, I'd like to turn this over to the viewers. So what do you guys think? Was Thunder Rosa's departure simply an unfortunate consequence of WWE Radio's launch? Or do you think the new partnership will make it difficult for non-WWE wrestling to have a place on SiriusXM moving forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, guys, though, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode of Turnbuckle Talk. And on that note, OMD, what are those words we like to go out on?
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we remind you the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and Turnbuckle Talk, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
Flagship show setting the tone. In the world of wrestling we stand alone. With news and reviews we lead the way. Turnbuckle Talk every day. Turnbuckle Talk every day.